You look so beautiful. I'm so excited to meet you.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I'm so excited to meet you. I am your fan. Like, I am your fan. I love you.
Well, I'm your fan. I'm going to
No.
introduce you, and then I'll gush over you some more. So,
Okay.
hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Iconic. I am so excited. You guys know I love our guest today, Dr. Wendy from the Real Housewives of Potomac. Dr. Wendy, how are you doing today?
I am so good. How are you, Danny?
Good. I just feel like I find you to be very refreshing addition to this franchise. I think you're very intelligent. I think you're presenting a culture that we don't get to normally see on television. It's just been great to watch you. How have you felt watching you?
I have been hiding under my pillow with a glass of wine, like rocking back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, what's happening? Did I say that? No.
I imagine it must be weird. I was talking to Leah McSweeney from The Real Housewives in New York, during her season, and she was saying the experience has been weird and different than what she expected because we've been under lockdown, so it hasn't been like she's been out and about getting recognized. And I wonder if you think the experience has been a little weird.
The experience has been weird, but also I don't know what to compare it to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's not like I was like, I'm going to come on here and then everyone's going to know who I am. I think for me, I've actually had oh my God, so many people watch this show type of thing, right? Like it has been so interesting, but I have appreciated the fact that I can go out and, I'm just all bundled up, my mask on, and I could still have a sense of my life normalcy almost, which has been good, which has been great. Yeah, it's been a ride.
You've had all of these badass jobs. What's the hardest one? Like, when you look back on all of your different work gigs, I should say, what's the hardest one?
Definitely being a housewife.
Yeah.
It's really interesting being a housewife because there are so many different personalities and there's so many people watching, and people take in the show from their own vantage point, if that makes sense, right? Yeah. And so it's been really a joy actually hearing people give feedback from a lens that I never thought to think through, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking about it because I see housewives can be very divisive, and fans fans immediately take sides. And I was thinking on some level, you must be a little bit used to that because of your political commenting or commentating. So I wonder if you notice that sort of the politics discourse and the housewives discourse, if they're similar in ways.
They are very similar because, again, you can go, when I go on the news, I could give my commentary, and I say it because I deeply believe in it. Like, these are my feelings. I'm coming to this as, from my different lenses, and I can walk off and my phone is buzzing and people telling me, I don't agree with that. How horrible that is. How horrible this politician is. How horrible this policy is. But the difference between that and being a housewife is there is no carryover. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like, even as I'm watching Twitter, I'll hear people say, well, that's messed up because so-and-so did this in season 2, episode 5. And I'm like, wait, what happened in season 2, episode 5? But with politics, it's like every day is like a clean slate, right? Somebody who got in you the day before may say, actually, today you make a good point. But with housewives, is like, no, these are people who are vested and they know these women and love these women. And that has been interesting. I
got to get into the nitty gritty of the program because, I also really love Karen Huger. And I'm curious where your relationship is now, because it seems very roller coastery. You were supporting her on social media, but then she said something about you on social media. Where is it at right now? It's confusing.
That's so interesting. So for me, I pride myself in authenticity, right? Like, even though, so I say that to say, my tweet on social media supporting her is because she was right. Like, we should ride for our partners. Our partners have every right to protect us, and we have every right to protect them. So I'm not one of those people that, oh, because Karen said it, it must be wrong. No, if Karen says something that I agree with, despite where our relationship is, then yeah, I agree with it. Like, that's just who I am. I feel like that authenticity should always come through. Our relationship is in the infancy phases, right? Like, we're still trying to get to know each other, and you guys are going to see that play out this season. We butt heads. We're two strong personalities, and who knows where it's going to end up. But, right now we're like,
right. Yeah, you guys
those are two ships.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's been tough as a fan of both of you. I've been really struggling.
Aww.
I've been really struggling here. The reunion, are you guys?
I don't hate her though. So there you go, right? I'm open for wherever our relationship goes. I am completely open to it. Yeah.
I feel like you guys just need to hash everything out, and then next season you guys will be like buddies.
I'm here for it.
The reunion, do you have an outfit planned? Are you guys doing in person? Do you know yet if it's going to be Zoom or in person?
It's top secret.
I'm hoping it's in person.
Okay.
I'm hoping.
I think you're good. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
But so do you have your outfit ready?
Not yet. I know what I want to wear. I know what I want to look like, but it's being created as we speak.
I think I might have mentioned this on the podcast. It feels to me like you're not a first season housewife, in that a lot of your looks feel really put together, and normally it takes a housewife a season to really kind of get the glam worked out, and it feels like you in right away and you look fantastic. Did you have a stylist, or did you have outfits planned, or how did you think of all that?
Oh my God, Danny, so this is why I love you. Like, I honestly love you for saying that, because I literally just got off the phone with one of my castmates, and I was just like, I hate every episode in the way I look. Like, I was literally like, and my phone is vibrating because we got off the phone and she's texting me to like tell me something. But
which one was it? Who are you talking to?
I was talking to Candiace. But I absolutely hate the way I look, because what viewers, oh my God, like when I tell you, you may have thought I was joking. Like, every episode I have a cover over my head, and I'm just like, oh my God, will this go away? Because I think that viewers, and when I say this, you may be like, oh yeah, you're right. I think that everyone forgot that I started filming 3 weeks after having a baby. You see? And so I what you guys are seeing me look like is you're seeing a mom who is not sleeping. I had to film. I have 3 kids. I'm adjusting to being a mom of 3. I was just like, I was throwing on my wigs like they were basketball caps. And so I'm like looking at myself like, Wendy, did you not know you're going to be on national TV? My outfits, some of my outfits, whether you know it or not, like there's the green skirt I wore to Karen's house for the sit down. When we all talked with Monique, that was a maternity skirt.
Oh my God.
So like, yeah. So it's like, I just have a chip on my shoulder, because I'm like, you met the world and the world met you at what I considered like my worst.
Look, I literally said that before even meeting you. I really thought your looks were good. There's one look I don't love, but you said
the pink one with the short haircut.
Yeah, I don't love that one. I think that's
I hated that. Yeah. Do you know what happened there?
No
my hairstylist canceled on me the night before my confessional. And so we were like, what are we going to do? I hate that.
But by the way, 99% of your looks look great to me. And you just mentioned you had a baby 3 weeks before. So what do you think is Giselle's excuse for her looks? I'm sorry, I love Giselle.
Oh God. I'm sliding how I slid in Newburgh. Oh no. You were sending me. I have been sent. I'm not even here anymore because I have been sent away.
Giselle's stunning though. She's stunning.
She's beautiful. I think Giselle is absolutely drop dead gorgeous. I think she has her own sense of style, and in her head it works. And the reason I say that, and I'm confident saying that, is she bought a new house and she decided she wanted to paint the walls purple. There's a level of commitment to your own aesthetic that comes with painting your walls purple in a brand new house that you have the potential to completely start over, but that's what you go for. And I think that is her aesthetic. That's what she's going for.
I got to talk about the Candiace and Monique situation. After seeing it, we know your side, of course, on the show, but after seeing it all play out on camera, do you feel differently? Do you feel the same? Where do you stand?
Honestly, I don't feel like you guys got to see my true side on camera, if that makes sense. I feel like, yes, my stance is nothing warrants physical altercation. Like, that's just me. And I feel as though there are some people who say if you talk a certain type of way, then that person has the right to hit you. If you feel as though that's right, then that's your opinion, but also respect mine on the other hand, which says, I don't think that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think people are seeing like, okay, you can view it that way, but other people also have the right to view it the other way. While I do not believe that physical altercation is warranted, I am also a mom. And what I teach my kids, especially my 7 and 5-year-old who are now in school, is you never know what someone's energy is going to be. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
You never know if someone is going to match your energy, because oftentimes we see or hear stories of someone in a club and they bump into somebody by accident. And next thing you know, it ends up in a shootout or something, right? Like, that didn't warrant that, but you never know what someone's energy is. And so for me, yes, I don't believe in physical violence. But I also believe that you don't know. If you get in someone's face, the hope is that they will come back to you by getting in your face. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the energy levels don't match.
Right.
And so that is a prime example of a precautionary tale of be careful what you do, because you never know what that person will react with.
Right. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, it was very compelling TV, and it's been interesting to see everyone's different point of view on it. And I think we're all episode to episode shifting and feeling differently about it just by hearing all of you talk about it. And I've found that sort of to be the most interesting. Where do you think the cast goes? Because it seems like a lot of the women don't want to film with Monique. So do you think next season everyone could come back? Do you think that maybe some people shouldn't come back?
Well, that's not, as much as viewers watch and think that we have the power to do that, we don't. And for me especially, I'm the newbie in this, right? Like, I am really a newbie through and through. So I don't even know the power dynamics. I don't even know if I'm coming back. Oh, you're so sweet. But I don't know. So for me, I take the position as a viewer where I'm sitting on pins and needles, because I'm like, what's going to happen? Where do we go from this? I'm hopeful that their relationships are so deep rooted that this is something that maybe we can all move past. But I honestly am the last person to know. I don't know the politics yet of Housewives. So every day I'm just watching like, what is going on and what is about to happen?
Right. Right. It's been so fun seeing your Nigerian culture and the food, especially. I think I mentioned both at your Sip and See event and the Wine with Wendy event. It looked like the food was amazing. First of all,
top notch.
Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite Nigerian dish?
Oh man, I have so many, but I think like if you were to enter the Nigerian world, the first thing that someone will give you is probably like jollof rice. And that's like a spicy rice cooked in tomato and lots of spices, fried plantain, and like an assortment of meat. Like, I love stuff like that. I love spicy food. I'm a spicy food junkie. Not all Nigerian food has to be spicy, but for me, it's a must. So I love jollof rice, and I love like pounded yam, which is like a cassava type of thing with like a soup and you dip it in. Oh, so good. I love food. Listen, one thing that all the girls will tell you is the moment I found out that we weren't paying for like our dinners and stuff when we went out, oh gosh, as soon as I sat down before we even had a conversation, I was like, let me place my order. Here's what I want for my appetizer, my main course, and my dessert. And I want a plate for my husband. Thank you very much. It was terrible.
I love that. Well, I looked at both of the events you threw and I was like, oh my God, that food looks so amazing. Like
that shit was amazing. The food was so good. I loved it.
Also, by the way, you mentioned your husband. If you notice like the groundswell of lust after your husband from the Bravo community.
Listen, I have, and my husband, he is fine.
Yeah,
okay,
he's really good
he is okay. Okay, all right. So yeah. And what makes him fine to me is the fact that he doesn't even consider him. Like, he's just like so humble and he's the nicest guy ever. Like, ever. And he loves all my friends. Like, he is just like,
he seems like a sweet soul. Like, just, I don't know. He seems like it radiates from the TV.
He is.
Okay, so
the yin to my yang, because I'm different.
What trips do you guys have coming up? Do you have a trip coming up
for Housewives?
Yeah, on the show. Are you guys going to Poland? So tell me about that.
Portugal. We're going to Portugal. Portugal was amazing. It was. So I have this thing. So you're getting the inside scoop here. So I'm gonna get in trouble for telling, but I have two sides, right? Maybe it's because I'm a Gemini, but I have Wendy and I have Wendy. And you guys haven't met Wendy. Wendy, it takes it back to college years. I'm like, shots! Like, that is Wendy. So once we get to Portugal, there is a signature drink called the Pancha. And that drink is amazing. Oh my God, so you guys get to meet Wendy, and I let my hair down and I'm just like dancing in the streets. It's amazing.
I'm excited because the Potomac women always seem so put together, and especially compared to something like the New York cast is a bunch of drunk messes all the time. So I like to see a little bit of a mix of both, but I'm excited to meet Wendy.
Yeah, that's Wendy.
I have some questions that people wrote into the Everything Iconic Patreon. So Carrie Pope wants to know more info on your situation with your in-laws. Do they live in Potomac? When's the last time you spoke with them? Is there hope for a reconciliation?
I hope there's reconciliation. But one thing that I don't think the viewers understood is that Eddie's parents, Eddie and I dated for 2 years. So they supported our engagement, right? Eddie and I have known each other since we were 17. Eddie's parents and my parents were friends for a long time. So it's not like something that has been since the beginning. It literally happened like a few months before we got married. And I hope that I'm going to be able to talk about this a little bit more at the reunion. But the beauty of it and why I'm happy is that this issue is just with Eddie's mom. Like, Eddie's grandmother, aunts, uncles, cousins were all at our wedding. His first dance was with his grandmother, his mom's mom. So he has that support and love for them. And, you know, it's really sad because what you guys may not know is that the same situation happened with Eddie and Eddie's mom and his grandmother, meaning Eddie's mom made it such that she didn't want her kids to even speak to her own mom. You know, so there's a lot of history there. It's not just like, oh, he met this woman and this woman's what turned bad. No, it's like, it's not me. As his grandmother says, even if he married somebody else, this will still be the issue.
It's layered. Rosie said, your career crossroads is very relatable. And do you have any advice for figuring out what your passion is or what path to actually take?
I hope you guys can take that journey with me because I'm still trying to figure it out. What I did know is I wasn't happy, and I want to do something that when I wake up in the morning, I'm excited to do. you know? And it doesn't matter what title it is. It doesn't matter what the accolades are. I just want to be fulfilled and happy because I feel like I have been living my life for everyone else. And I know, some moms can even relate to that. Like when you have kids, it's all about them and, being a wife and all that stuff. And I just think it's time to get back to Wendy. So I'm looking at exploring my passions. And right now I have an inkling of what I want to do, but we'll see.
I would like to see you on like a View-like show because I feel like you can talk about
I would
it all.
love that.
Yeah, that's what we need.
I would love that. Barbara Walters, set it up, please. I would love to be on The View. I feel like I'm like the intersection between pop culture and politics, and I could cover everything.
And I feel like you, at the very least, we need to get you like a guest co-host on The View, and then people will see how good you are, and then we'll make it happen.
Oh.
Okay, Casey.
I love you, Danny.
Casey Huntington wants to know, how close were you and Candiace before the show? Were you
interesting?
Close?
So so that's interesting. So we met at a social gathering. We actually met at a red carpet event. And the funny part about this is Candiace actually invited me to her watch party for the season 4 premiere of Potomac. And so I was there in Big Belly with Cam supporting her. So we had known each other casually, and I feel like our relationship has just blossomed since I've been on the show.
Kathy Sherman wants to know, where did the thrown wine glass come from? Because Monique's lip was cut and bleeding. Will we get answers to that?
Hopefully you guys will get answers at the reunion. For me, you guys saw me. I was in the middle. So everything you guys are watching, I'm watching it with you because I was literally in the thick of things. I didn't have a bird's eye view. And there was a time that my head was down and I'm just like separating them. So I don't know where it came from, but that thing was intense. It was more intense being there than watching it.
I could imagine.
Yeah, I feel like watching it softened the blow. Honestly.
Where do you stand with the other women? Are there any women you're not speaking with right now? Is that a shady question?
No, that's not a shady question. That's a great question. I'll say this. I have spoken to all of the women post rapping, right? Like since we rapped, I've talked to everyone. I'm coming into this new. I am just trying to figure out the different dynamics. I am trying to figure out each person. I know that when you guys see me on TV, you're like, wow, she really is like on this side. It's not that. I think people forget that I'm just opinionated. Like my day job is to have like a strong opinion. Like, so that's what I do. So and just because I have a strong opinion doesn't mean I dislike the other person. Does that make sense? Like there's no one I'm like, oh, I don't like her. No. Right. No. Yeah. I like all the women.
You mentioned the political stuff, and it's election week, and I hope all the listeners have already voted or they have their voting plan. But what would you tell people who maybe haven't made their voting plan yet or who are maybe undecided? Can you give us a little of that for us?
Sure. I think that, this is going to be the most consequential election of our lifetime. And there is so much at stake here. Even the fact that we are voting in the midst of a global pandemic, in the fact that we're voting right now when the rise of social justice movements around the globe are happening, and the fact that 9 days before the election, a Supreme Court justice was appointed to the bench. There is so much at stake, and it is our civic duty to vote. And some people talk about activism. Well, I believe that one of the highest forms of activism is to be engaged. So you have to make sure to get out and vote. There are lots of tools out there that can help you look at different, policy platforms for your local elections, because that matters as well, not just the person who resides at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, but who are your senators, your delegates, your superintendents. So please make sure you get out and vote. And even if it's not for yourself, make sure you do it for the generations to come, because they don't want to clean up our mess. And when you go and vote, don't go by yourself. Take friends with you. Make it fun. Yeah, take a friend.
Is there one issue, whether domestically or globally, that you think people aren't paying enough attention to, or that you would like to kind of spotlight? I know there's so much. It sometimes can feel overwhelming to people, I think.
That's a great question. So I'm going to be selfish here, and I'm going to pick two. One of them is immigration. I'm an immigrant. We're just talking about my Nigerian heritage. I think this administration, for lack of a better term, has been for a lot of people a dumpster fire. And I say that because so much has happened that we forget things that happened in the beginning. Like just last year, we were talking about children in cages and the fact that there's like 500 families who have not been reconnected, and these are young children. So what are we doing about immigration? Like, what does that policy look like? And then the other piece will be education. We have, the Secretary of Education who is grossly unqualified. She's not doing anything when it comes to funding for our kids. She's not doing anything when it comes to tracing for COVID. And a lot of these kids are going back into the schools. Like, what is going on? And all of these kids who are at home and their parents have to go to work, they're going to grow up to be the next doctors and lawyers. And I don't know about you, but I'm drinking wine at 12 o'clock and I'm teaching my kids. Like, what type of teacher am I? Like, you know what I mean? So what are we doing about education? So those are my two big things, are education and immigration.
Do you feel just so mentally drained and exhausted, especially because you're really engulfed in so much of this? I just can't even imagine, like, the mental toll. And you're an immigrant, so you're also dealing with hearing such personal discourse. Obviously, it's something we're all listening to, hopefully, but it's so personal to you. And I would feel I feel drained. I feel mentally checked out sometimes. And you must feel that way. How are you getting through it, or how are you feeling?
Yeah, I am definitely mentally drained, and I just have to unplug. And I think that, being in this housewife universe has also helped me. Like, some days I get to just wear my housewives hat, and, that's fun. But even that comes with a share of stress and drama. And you read things in the blog and you're like, that's not true. That's not how it happens. So there's this share of stress too. But just unplugging. I have to unplug because it's too much at times. It's draining.
And I see that you mentioned moms teaching, and I'm just like, holy fuck! Like, haven't moms been through enough this fucking year? Like,
hello.
Now they gotta teach the kids, and like, oh my god,
are you freaking serious? I am so exhausted. I'm teaching a second grader and a kindergartner, and how the fuck am I qualified to do that? I'm so confused. Like, I don't know what's going on. My son is looking at me like, "Mommy, what is this term?" I don't know. Okay, I don't know.
None of us remember.
It has been. I don't remember anything, so it has been really interesting.
Wendy, this is so much fun. I know I got to wrap it up with you, but what else do we have to look forward to this season on Potomac?
Honestly, this season is just getting started, because let me tell you something. You guys think that you know the drama that's going to play out? No. Like, drama comes to a nice, I'll say this, buttons are closed, but then lots of containers are left open. Like, when you guys think that, oh, okay, we get it, it's coming to a close, then a new revelations happen. And I literally left like, what in the hell?
Oh my God. Like, I think this has been the best season of any Housewife franchise. It's like at the tippy top of greatness. Wow. What do you make of Michael? Michael, he's always in the drama, of course, Michael Darby. Like, what do you make of this man?
Michael is the Michael just keeps on giving, he just keeps on giving. He's that's Michael. I don't know him well, but I would say he is making TV very interesting.
Okay, the last two questions I ask everyone. Number one, what's your favorite Mariah Carey song?
I would say Always Be My Baby. Always Be My Baby, and Break Down with Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Oh, the best.
That got me through. Yes, honey. Yes.
And finally, if you were choosing for People Magazine Sexiest Man Alive, who would you choose? But you can't choose Eddie, although I would.
I was just about to say Eddie. Okay, so if not Eddie, my two would be Idris Elba. Like, he is. And I have a little thing for Frederick on $1 Million List in New York.
What? Oh my God, that's surprising. That's crazy and surprising.
I think he's cute. And then also David Beckham.
A classic.
Classic.
Where can people find you on social media?
You can find me on all social media platforms at Wendy Osefo.
Thank you so much. It was such a delight getting to know you on the show and finally meeting you. Hopefully we'll get to meet in person one of these days. But thank you. Thank you for everything. And everyone go vote.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, go vote. And Danny, when I meet you, I want the biggest hug because I just
Oh my God. Aren't you missing hugs? I miss hugs so much.
I am.